Good evening, class. We are going to start our class today. Today we're going to talk about quantitative methodology, and we're going to see an example, and also we're going to see the how you can apply in your research. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. So remember we were talking about the different methodologies that we can use to do a research project. Remember that what is the difference between quantitative and qualitative? Do you remember? In a qualitative methodology, you mainly use numerical data, okay, to prove your point of view or your theory, okay? Meanwhile, when you talk about quantitative research, you talk about more subjective ideas, okay? Very good. So we're going to start working today. I'm going to show you. This is the lesson that if you want, you can open. This is the book that you can open if you want. And here I have the outline that later we're going to see that. I have two activities for today, okay? I did these activities because I would like to show you how you can work with this, for example, the surveys, encuestas, and questionnaires, okay? These two things will be useful for us to have some kind of data so we can practice working with the quantitative methodology, okay? So let's open the lesson, okay? The lesson, lesson number 2. Lesson number 2. Okay. Quantitative research, definition, principles, and basic statistics, okay? The things I'm going to say, they are very basic, okay? What are the objectives of these lessons? Understand the definition and key characteristic of quantitative research. Explore the principles and objectivity and replicability in quantitative research. Okay, this is very important when you prepare a research project. Talking about these three things: objectivity, replicability. Yes, about two things, no? And they're basic statistical concepts and analysis relevant to quantitative research. Definition of quantitative research. Quantitative research involves the systematic investigation of phenomena using numerical data, often analyzed using a statistical method. Wait a minute, please. Wait a minute. Hola, estoy ahorita en clase, te cuento. Hola.
Ajá, bueno, bueno, está bien,
Ya.
está bien, te hablo después.
Ya, por favor, ya, gracias. Okay, sorry. Quantitative research involves a systematic investigation of the phenomena using numerical data, often analyzed using a statistical method. Key features, okay? So when you use quantitative methodology, this is systematic investigation of a phenomenon, and mainly using numerical data, okay? So that's why you will use questionnaires, surveys, all these things. The data is measurable and observable, okay? So this is very important. You can measure and observe the data that you can get with these instruments. Focus on generalizability and prediction, okay? Research designs are structured and standardized, okay? Research designs are structured and standardized, okay? So that's the key things when you use this kind of methodology. Okay, what is the structure? It follows a rigid framework to ensure replicability. Okay, it's important that your research could be repeated, no? And could be do again. No? That's why replicability is, no? When the data that you can get, okay, and you can you have to, your work should be replicable. No? Objective measurement. What are the objectives? Uses tools like surveys, experiments, and tests to gather unbiased data. Okay. Quantifiable data. Outputs are numericals, facilitating statistical analysis. Okay. So remember this. The objective should be measured. That's why when you prepare your objectives, you have to use verbs, or when you prepare your surveys, you have to use verbs that could be measured, okay? No verbs like, for example, learn. Learn is an abstract verb, okay? You can measure that verb, okay? Principles of quantitative research. Objectivity, okay? Researches, neutrality, results are free from personal bias. Replicability, studies are designed so others can repeat them with similar results. Reliability, okay, replicability, this is very important. The studies are designed so others can repeat them with similar results, okay? Reliability, consistency in measurement over time, reliability, no? So that's a principle. And also validity. Insurance should measure what they intend to measure, okay? So, for example, if you want to measure how much students can learn English with games, let's say something, you have to ensure that that tool that you prepare measure that thing, okay? Okay, the importance of objectivity and replicability. Objectivity. Avoid subjectivity by using standardized tools and procedures. Build trust and credibility in findings. Okay. So when you prepare a research, you have to avoid subjectivity and replicability. Allows verification of results. Supports cumulative knowledge building in research fields. No? Supports cumulative knowledge building.
Você pode chegar mais tarde.
Sorry? Allows replicability. No? Remember, allows verification. And also, it's very important when you prepare a research, you can add something to the knowledge building, okay? You don't just repeat the things, okay, the others have done. Better, you can add something to the knowledge, okay? Knowledge build, okay? Okay, what are the variables within that you use these things to measure, okay? To do your surveys or questionnaires, okay? For example, in the variables, you can find elements that can change or vary. For example, age, test score, okay? This is one. Samples. Subject or population, subsets of population used for research, okay? As I told you, within, for example, you were in the school within, with 1,000 students, you can get a sample of 10 or 100 students. Data types, okay? Categorical, e.g. gender, education, and level. Numerical, e.g. high income, okay? So these are examples of variables, not variables, variables, okay. Okay, once you have done your tools to do your research, you use your tools, you have to analyze, no? The frequencies, the measures of central tendency, and measures of dispersion. Okay, this is a statistic analysis, okay? For example, you want to know how many students in your class can learn through games, okay? And those are the things, okay? This gives you a statistical analysis, okay? Frequencies, counts or percentages of occurrences in data, okay? For example, you have a group of 100 students. Let's say that 60% of those students are female students, or 40% of those students can learn through games, something like that. No? Measures of central tendency. Okay, you have three things here: mean, average value of data, the average, the median, middle value in ordered data, mode, most frequently occurring variable, no? Value. Okay, I'm sorry. So you have three things. You have to get mean, median, and mode. Okay, sometimes maybe you won't have all those things in your research, okay? But you have to have some of them because these are the things that could serve to support your research. Measure of dispersion. Range, difference between highest and lowest values. This is the range, okay? And the standard deviation indicates variability in data, okay? Let's say this is an example, okay? Test score for a group of students. You have 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Those are the grades, okay? So the theory sets the mean, no? What is the mean? Remember, mean, the average value of data, the average. We had all these things, okay? Sorry. So you had 50, this is the mean. The things, the average things. What is the median? You divide these things. You have to count, no? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 70. That is the median, 70 mid scores, okay? The median on your test is 70, okay? And the range is the highest minus the mean, minus the lowest, the range, remember the range says difference between the highest and lowest values. So you have the range, 90, the highest, and the lowest, 50. You have the range is 4. You don't have mode in this. Why? Because no repeated scores. It says about mode, most frequently occurring value, no? For example, in this value, you had a 70, 70, 270. You are going to mode, it will be 70, okay? That's easy, as you see, this analysis, no? Conclusion. Quantitative research relies on objectivity, replicability, and statistical analysis to generate reliable and valid findings. Understanding basic statistical concept is foundational for interpreting and conducting quantitative studies. Okay? As I told you before, this will give you the background, the information that you need to support your research. Okay? That's it. That's the idea of the quantitative research. Okay? Do you have any questions? It's not difficult. It looks like difficult, but it's not. It's not. It's very easy. You only have to pay attention to the details, the things that you have to do. Okay? I'm going to show you now the one example of well, this is ANOVA. That's a kind of, it's quantitative, but this is an instrument. Okay, they have other things that we don't have, but most of the time we're going to use the other things. But just to show you, Okay, here you have, for example, and question. Does the type of teaching method affect the student test score in an AAP course? Okay. Test score in AAP, okay? This is your research question. With this research question, you have a hypothesis. It could be a null hypothesis. It could be a negative one, or could be an alternative hypothesis, okay? Sometimes you can prove the hypothesis, okay? But sometimes you can prove that you are right, but maybe you can the hypothesis can be that you are wrong, okay? There is a so there is no difference in mean test scores between the three teaching methods. Alternative hypothesis, at least one teaching method results in a significant different mean test score compared to others. Okay? So there you are. That's the hypothesis. Imagine we have three groups of students, each taught with a different teaching method. Group A, traditional lecture-based teaching. Group B, interactive, discussion-based teaching. Group C, technology-assisted, self-paced learning. After one semester, each group takes the same standardized test, and the test scores are collected for analysis. Let's say this is the group A, group B, and group C. Okay? There, you can find the mean. Okay? Remember the mean for each group? Okay? You had, for example, in group A, the mean 79. Okay? Group A, from here, you had the mean 79. And for group B, 87. And for group C, 92. Partition of variance. Between group variance, they measure the variance between the different group means, e.g., how much the mean scores of each group differ from the overall mean. Within group, they measure or relevant each group how much individual score differ from different group means. Okay, here, for example, they use ratio interpreting the results. Okay. If the calculate F value is greater than the critical F value from the F distribution table based on significance, we reject the null hypothesis. Okay. Here, for example, with the interpretation of the statistics, they reject this. Okay. This, no? Traditional lecture teaching. Okay? No, the hypothesis. Okay? There is no difference. It means test score between. Okay, so with this study, this is proof that is wrong. Okay? Because there is a difference between the groups. Okay? With the use of the different methodologies. No? Conclusion. In our analysis shows a significant F value, we conclude that at least one teaching method has a statistically different impact of the student test score in an EAP. Okay? So if you want to continue, you can do more research. Okay? So this is just an example, and you see, for example, here we have the media of the groups. That the third group had the highest, no? And what is the methodology? Mm. Yeah, here we have, okay. Technology-assisted self-paced learning. This gives a better result, no, in test scores. Technology-assisted self-paced learning, according to this, okay, because they have the highest mean, okay. So they can compare between the groups and they analyze the other things, okay. This is the ANOVA method, okay. But also you can do a similar analysis with just qualitative analysis using surveys, questionnaires, and like that. Okay. This is an example. Okay. So yeah. Okay, I'm going to show you right now the outline for the project. Okay. As I told you before, we had to start. Okay. This is the final project, the monograph design, preparation of document Word in APA, formatting, inclusion, the structural components, defense, preparation of PowerPoint presentation for oral defense, emphasizes on key findings, conclusion, and study relevance. Outline, ya desde aquí comenzamos, ¿no? Outline. Okay, background explanation of the context and relevance of the topic. Review of relevant literature. Okay, here you can write something. It's like introduction, no? Introduction. You can explain the context and relevance of the topic, and then you can review relevant literature, no? Now, after that, the second step will be the research problem. Statements of their central research problem, identification of research question. Okay, here you have your question. Okay, objectives. After you have your question, you have to establishment of general and specific objectives. Okay. Most of the time they ask you to have a general objective for the paper, and then you can write two or more specific objectives, okay, or three if you, according to your research question. Here is a selection. Okay, these resources are okay. Hypothesis and variables. Okay. No lo tomen en cuenta, este es un comentario. ¿No? Hypothesis and variables. Okay. So here you have the objectives. According to these objectives, you have to have your hypothesis. And with these two ideas, hypothesis and objectives, you have to identify dependent and independent variables. Okay. justification. The variables are the things that you have. You want to research for, to explain, to use as explanation. Okay. For example, as the age, the test scores, so these are the things according to your objectives and your hypothesis. Okay. After that, when you have this, you have to write a justification of your work. Okay. Explanation of study importance for the field. Okay. What you want to add to the knowledge building, no? Research methodology. Research approach. Here you have to say I use a qualitative or quantitative or a mix. No, you can mix also there because it depends on the tools that you use to do your research. Okay, description of the methodological designs and data collection techniques. Okay, this is what I show you. Description of methodological design and data collection technique. What you have found with your tools, no? And also analysis of the results, procedures for analysis quantitative or qualitative data. Okay, these two, we are going to work with the SPSS software. Okay, you're gonna have doing that. But for doing that, you have some questionnaires, some surveys, some observation. You want to have some qualitative things. Remember, you have to review. What are the instruments in a qualitative research? Or what are the instruments in a quantitative approach? Okay? And then you are going to use, you're going to explain why do you use those approaches. Okay? Then analysis of results. Procedures for analysis of quantitative and quantitative data. Interpretation and discussion of the findings. Here you have to do a summary, or maybe you can present some charts, some Apple charts or bar charts if you want, showing your findings. Okay. Activity timeline. This is important. Planning and research activities from data collection to analysis and final writing. Okay. So now you are going to plan, for example, what steps you are going to do first. Okay. And then you have to say, for example, today I'm going to get my objectives because you have your research question, your problem. Now you have to find your objectives, okay? And then your hypothesis and variables. And then for example, for tomorrow, you can choose, you have the objectives, your variables. You can write something about justification, okay? Research methodology, research approach, okay? And then here you have, for example, you have the description of methodology, design, and data collection techniques. Okay, the tools that you're going to use. If you're going to use surveys, if you're going to use, okay, those things. Okay. And today, yeah, you can do that. Analysis of results. I think that maybe we can write work to date with something with the analysis for, yeah, we had already done something about quantitative analysis. Remember the mean and all those things. Okay. But you have to have your surveys, your questionnaires according to your okay. Analysis of results. That's we are going to do with SSPS. Okay. And you had already done this today. You are going to do this, so you're going to have enough time to prepare your work. Okay, because I think next week on Friday you are going to present your project. Okay, you're going to do a short presentation.
Sorry, Professor, when?
Next Friday.
From this week, the next week.
Next week, next Friday. The last
The 7th.
We finish on
I mean,
Cinco,
it
no?
is the 6th. The
Sí.
6th.
The 5th.
Friday, right?
Yeah, Friday.
I think 5th because we started on Friday, so we should finish
Okay.
Thursday. Maybe.
Yes. Okay. Entonces,
Profesor.
sí.
Una pregunta.
Sí.
¿Hay límite de páginas que tiene que tener la monografía? O
Página.
de
Bueno,
acuerdo.
no son
de acuerdo.
generalmente no es muy largo. No, 10 páginas nomás. Porque depende también del tema que usted haya propuesto, ¿no? Y también, por ejemplo, su survey, tiene que incluir todo, ¿no? Su survey tiene que incluir su